Hi guys, welcome to the Sports Doy and welcome back to our post-match daily live. At the end of the fourth day, India have been set a target of 420 runs. As it stands, we are 381 runs short of our target. We have lost Rohit Sharma quite in the most disappointing circumstances possible.
Yep.
He played an entirely wrong line, and what happened later was just utter disappointment. Moving past that, right now we have Prathamesh right now, and hopefully we might have another person. I'm not very sure if he's joining, so I'll just not reveal the name as yet. Let's see if he does. Uh, Prathamesh, firstly, the day started on a fairly decent note. Ashwin and Washington Sundar batted well. Uh, and Washington Sundar, my goodness, I think we'll start there firstly. How comfortable he was in the middle, and the pitch was doing a lot today, and he was doing so well.
Yeah. He was actually very brilliant, and I saw a couple of posts after the entire innings of Washington Sundar, wherein people started talking. Even Steve Smith started as a spinning all rounder, right? So,
Yeah,
but he genuinely looked comfortable. I mean, moving past that, he was very strong against Jack Leach. He was good where he was defending. His height was pretty good because that is where he could play those extensive off drives on towards covers or towards cover point. So I think in that sense he had that edge over Jack Leach. He batted really well against the faster bowlers as well. If you look at the way he batted against Archer, he looked solid even on the short deliveries. He hit Anderson for an almost nonchalant six. So he was looking comfortable overall. It's good to see that his temperament was so good. I think more than your technique, I think this pitch is one of those that test your temperament a lot. Because today the odd ball was spinning, the odd ball wasn't, the odd ball was bouncing a bit too much, the odd ball was keeping low. So there was a lot of uncertainty from the pitch. But obviously Washington having that experience of playing in Chennai before, even if it is in the TNPL or he has played Ranji Trophy before for Tamil Nadu, even if it is like 4 years back, right, Anurag? So
yeah,
I think that experience kind of helped him. Plus, a good innings in Brisbane, so he was anyway in a good state of mind. So a fantastic
yeah.
innings by him, well supported by Ashwin. I must say, he got a very good delivery from Leach to get him out. So I think when that partnership was going, it looked really good. India looked as if they were in a comfortable position. And after that wicket of Ashwin went, it was more like how long rather than whether or not it was going to be that session. So I think in that sense we did a decent recovery. So now the onus is again on our batting, but good batting performance by Sundar, to be honest. Like he and Rishabh Pant were the two people along with Pujara who genuinely looked like they knew how to bat on this wicket.
Yes, I think Nathan has been just texting me. He's having some trouble trying to figure out a way through to join StreamYard. I think StreamYard has different policies
Yeah.
across different countries. So we'll just try and figure out that later. But Varun just comments 16 wickets on the first 3 days and 15 on the fourth day. That's Chennai for you. Quite typically, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shivam adds, uh, unfortunately, run out of partners. 100 was written on the stars.
Yeah, I think
I'm
that is for
slightly,
Washington.
yeah. I think,
Yeah,
yeah,
Bumrah
sure.
Bumrah got that one
Yeah,
beautiful delivery. Otherwise, he might have even scored 100.
yeah, indeed. I think this is just because Shivam made it. I think this is how the current position stands of Indian cricket in the first test. We are 100 we are what 381 runs short at stumps on day four. Let's see where this goes. I mean, there is a long way to go before we make any sort of uh, you know, what do you say? I don't want to
Bold
make any overall
prediction.
predictions, any
Yeah,
bold
bold
predictions
prediction.
because of the way the pitch has been behaving. Heading into the fifth day in Brisbane was different because the pitch was
Yeah,
not doing as much as people thought it would, and it
yeah.
did not eventually.
There was that massive crack right in the middle of the pitch, which is why people thought कि ये बहुत गंदा pitch होने वाला है. But I think overall it played well didn't it, that day. But this is bad. Like this is the kind of pitch where you don't know what's going to happen where the ball pitches. उसके ऊपर से we have been very critical of the fact that there are these English batsmen who are running on the pitch. So that was also a little bit of a worry. Anurag, by the way, when Indians did bowl, obviously we got a wicket on the very first ball, and then things look all bright and positive. But what do you think of the England approach, right? Because I feel England did go a little defensive. I think Rishabh, also, the innings at Brisbane, the innings in Bangladesh, which West Indies had yesterday, definitely contributed, didn't it?
Yeah, it totally did. I think I don't know, man. Like once the pitch was starting to tear up, you could sense. And I was honestly, I think, on a completely different note to the question that you've asked. I was actually surprised with the way England approached, especially towards the end of the second session and uh, towards the start of the third session. Because if you looked at it, I think their first intention and their first thought in the brain was to ensure this game is out of India's reach, and
Yeah,
then they were trying to go for a win, which is, I was having a conversation with a few friends who are England cricket fans who are from UK. They were telling me like they were absolutely appalled by how uh, that safety net that which you know
yeah,
Root was trying to get his side into. Uh, you could understand because maybe
yeah, yeah,
100, 105, 110 overs. I think in a sense it could be enough, but another thing to be pointed is yesterday we lost 4 or 5 overs, and today again we've lost 4 or 5 overs. So that is something that definitely will play uh, into account. So coming back to a slightly different topic, uh, today as far as the bowling was concerned, let's talk about our bowling firstly.
yeah,
Shahbaz Nadeem, I don't know what he was trying to do because every all the that leg stump blind bowling that he was trying to bowl,
yeah,
uh, it honestly didn't make a lot of sense for me because Ollie Pope and everyone who was there, I think Dom Bess, it was everyone.
yeah,
They're just padding it out, and they're not doing anything. I don't know what
yeah.
England were benefiting out of it. Definitely not India. India were definitely not benefiting out of it either. It was just like a waste of time. And
They
I know
have,
we got one wicket with that reverse sweep from Ollie Pope, but was
yeah.
it Dom Bess? I think it was Ollie Pope. Yeah,
Yeah, Ollie
yeah.
Pope and
But
then
besides,
Butler getting stumped. I think those were the only two dismissals that were genuinely on that line.
Butler got stumped when when he was bowling from around the wicket. If I'm not wrong, I'm not.
No, no,
I
over
can't
the
totally
wicket. It
over
was
the
over the
wicket. Yeah,
wicket. He just tried to hit a six against the line. So I
yeah.
think that was the mistake.
But again, but again, it's like two teams trying to waste time,
Yeah.
and two teams like totally, you know, down their minds. They know it's going to be a draw. I really didn't understand that. What did you make of that?
For me, Anurag, I mean, first of all, if I'm Joe Root, I've seen a lot of backlash by Indian fans as well as English fans on him on Twitter for the tactic that is used. I think he and Silverwood were discussing this at length. They went inside at one point of time to discuss the strategy. I felt they got it right because the way this pitch is spinning, the way this is reacting to the faster bowlers, I still feel 105, 110 overs are good enough to get a team out. Secondly, we have seen the Indians they have this positive attitude towards the game. I think Ishan Sharma in his post match press conference today, not press conference, a post match interview today with the Deep Das Gupta, he said, if we can bat well in the first two sessions, we might as well get a win. So that's something that probably might have played in their mind. That's something that shows the Indian positivity around the camp. They feel they're good enough to chase any total. You look at the match situation. I think we batted what 13 overs today, and we have 90 overs tomorrow. So that's a cumulative 103 overs. To chase a target in excess of 400 and 103 overs is an extremely difficult task. And I don't think it is genuinely possible because it's just not the run rate still looks under four and over, slightly under four and over. But to do that for an amount of overs that we have to do it, especially on a pitch where you might be all good. You might see Cheteshwar Pujara score 100. You might see Shubman Gill on 100, but you might still get that one odd ball where that ball will do something really magical and take your wicket out. So it seemed a decent tactic for me, Anurag. At least I felt England did go defensive, but they didn't go ultra defensive in the sense that they will bat out the rest of the day and then look to look to get those wickets. They knew that they will not be able to bat the rest of the day. They knew it was going to be 15 overs of Indian batting in any case. So they had planned on that 1 hour of Indian batting, and I think they did bowl well when they came out to bowl. Talking about the overs, the overs that have been missed in the last 2 days. I think today you couldn't entirely blame England either because Indians did also bowl a little slowly at one point. Uh,
Yeah,
Shabaz Nadeem, Shabaz Nadeem bowled a really negative line, and I don't know what to make of it. I don't know whether the negative line outside leg stump was the issue, or the amount of no balls that he was bowling was an issue, or the field setting that he got was an issue. Like there were so many negative points in that entire Shabaz Nadeem thing that absolutely did not work. Plus, if you have picked him out, considering the fact he bats better than Kuldeep Yadav, then he didn't because the boy basically gave a catching
yeah.
practice to Ben Stokes. So that didn't
Oh,
work for the Indians anyway. And unfortunately, neither has his bowling. They haven't bowled good lines and good lengths. So I felt it was really bad. I mean, the way Nadeem bowled. Not saying anything against Shabazz Nadeem. I think he's had a good domestic record, but I think he is still struggling in this test arena. But today's lines were very bad, and
yeah.
I hope he rectifies that if he is playing the next game. If he is playing the next game, but
Yeah, yeah.
I think
Firstly, I think welcome
yeah.
Nathan. It's lovely to see you.
Yeah, pal.
Nathan Barkley is on for the very first time, so a big warm welcome. I know in the group you were absolutely going mad when Joe Root was not declaring, and the team was actually not trying to do a lot of stuff. So, if you could talk us through that 20 to 30 minutes where you're absolutely going mad.
Well, to be honest, I was just reading about a few other people's proper pundits like Michael Vaughan. I'm not his biggest fan, but I think today was probably one of the first times I've agreed with him. I mean,
Yeah,
if you go back to day one at 4 o'clock
yeah,
in England, it's 4 o'clock when the test starts. If you
okay,
told me back at 4 o'clock in the morning on day one we'd be in this position,
yeah,
I'd be asking for the same drugs because I couldn't even believe it. My dad said to
yeah,
me, he said, "What's the chances of England winning?" I said, "Dad, there's more
yeah.
chance of me winning the lottery." I am,
Yeah,
to be fair, like going back even further, I was against Root being captain, but I'm starting to think now Silverwood's coming for Bayliss. Actually, it
yeah,
was down to Bayliss just saying, hit out, get out. Whereas now we've got an opening base for the likes of Root, Stokes, Pope. He's still early days, but I think he'll be a hell of a player. Butler
yeah,
to actually counter attack now. So we've actually got
yeah,
the base at the start with someone like Sibley and
yeah,
Burns. I know he got a goalie this morning, but I still think the top three looks best it's looked for since Cook, Trott, and Strauss. I think
yeah.
that was the best part of England, but I just don't get why we didn't declare it 10 o'clock. So that would have been about 3 your time and give
Yeah.
ourselves 20 overs today.
Yeah, Nathan, that's what Prathamesh and I were talking. There was this point when Shahbaz Nadeem, our left arm spinner, just in case you haven't recognized it, he was just bowling that out of leg stump line, and Ollie Pope or Dom Best, they were just padding it out. It sort of made no sense from an Indian perspective or from an English perspective. It
Well,
was like just a waste of time.
Yeah, I watched the first session and then I went to bed
Yeah,
for a couple of hours, so I missed the second session. But I
yeah,
actually woke up as just after tea. I
yeah,
personally would have gone a bit the other way to what we did with what the
yeah,
new ball's been like. I'd have set off the new ball for the first 20 overs, and then
yeah,
once it gets a bit soft to the ball, I'd have looked to a counter attack. Especially
yeah.
like I was saying earlier about our team. So I don't really understand, and I've not heard Root's post-match interview or anybody's, what the method was in that last session. I think that's our
Yeah.
worst session of the test. And it's
I'm
now,
sorry.
I
Yeah,
think that
yeah,
was
yeah.
the
Sorry.
worst session. That's the worst
Yeah,
session
yeah,
of the test that we've had.
yeah,
Now, if we don't get home tomorrow, if we finish for 9, or you finish for 9 tomorrow, I can't see us winning the series. Or
yeah,
even earlier, because you're 7, 8, 9, well, 9, 10, 11. I don't expect it to take longer than 20 minutes to take him out for a walking wicket in this day and age.
Yeah, I totally get that. And I think the only thing that works in England's favor right now is that the pitch is absolutely deteriorated. It is, as there was a comment just now, it said 16 wickets in the first 3 days, and just today we saw 15 wickets fall. So it won't be a hell of a task. I mean, for 9 wickets to fall, because the pitch is doing a lot. And you just saw Jack Leach bowl an absolute peach of a delivery to supposedly one of India's best players of spin, but apparently he got foxed so badly. I mean, every time I saw that replay, it was so bad. I'll just take a few comments here, and then we'll again have a little discussion on whatever happened today. Unfortunately, Rana, I think we saw this. Not sure if we win or draw, but definitely would have broken the no ball record. Yeah, it was horrible. I mean, we bowled 26 no balls today. England bowled 1. That I think is the only extra they sort of conceded. What fantastic discipline from the English bowlers. India successfully chased a 387 in Chennai in December 2008. Trust me, Varun, there was a particular player named Virender Sehwag who scored like a 1960 balls. I don't think there is any player in this team who could potentially do that and give that kind of a start. And secondly, the pitch is absolutely horrible today. Punt, yeah, there is punt, but my problem is I think I very well remember that game, and Nathan, that day it wasn't this bad. I don't think the pitch had these many demons in it that day, so it was sort of still decent to bat on. I mean, any team is getting 387 runs in 100 overs. You have to, I mean, the pitch must be playing in batsman's favor a little bit. It doesn't. This pitch, especially the way it played today, I don't think it really looks that way. Let's see where it goes.
Do you think, just to add to that one though, I think the biggest difference to the 2008 to now, Pant can play that type of innings. But when I suspect Pant probably be in, you're probably looking at about 250 off 30 overs left or 40 overs left. Whereas when you had someone like Sehwag who opened up, put the pressure straight back on with the new ball. I don't remember the game particularly well because that was 12 years ago. I barely remember 12 minutes ago. But if you can put the pressure on the new ball, and if it's anything like today, then the pressure that new ball's gone, it makes the fielders panic a little bit more. Whereas I don't see someone like Gill looks like a good fine player, but I don't see him doing the Sehwag or coming close. I don't think we need to discuss Pujara. I think we're pretty clear of what his role in the team is. Kohli's someone that probably take it a bit deeper. So you don't really have that presence at the start to do something like you did in 2008.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, exactly. I think if there was any player who potentially could have done that, it was Rohit Sharma, because he has his knack of just going after bowlers and sometimes just surrendering wickets not very greatly. I think that's what happened today. Shivam says defensive approach on this pitch won't help Team India because if we attack, then we might have a chance to win or draw. Let's see. Another exciting day of 5th day of the Test match cricket. True. We have KD joining us as well. Hi, KD.
Hi guys. Sorry if there's some background noise at my end. I'm actually at a service station. You can even see a nice fancy bike there. And a big hello to Nathan. Really Thank you, man, for joining us.
All right, mate.
Sorry?
I said hello, pal.
Hi, man.
So again, KD, I think you had plenty to talk about Rohit Sharma. I just wanted to save that bit for you.
Okay. Before I go off on a stupid rant, I'd just like to clarify the fact that Rohit Sharma remains one of my favorite players in the world, regardless of the team. And Rohit Sharma, when in full flow, is a wonderful player to watch. But for me, this is the 6th innings in a row in which I know Jack Leach bowled a decent ball. I won't class it as a beautiful, unplayable delivery as Anurag sort of tried to put it. It wasn't.
I didn't put it that way. No.
It was,
I just said it's a good ball.
Beautiful delivery. It wasn't a classic dismiss.
It was a good ball. I said nothing more.
It's a decent ball. It's a decent ball. A man who plays spin that well, you really shouldn't be getting in. And
I did mention he played across the wrong line. Yeah.
Yes, he did. He did. The commentators mentioned that his front leg was going towards the leg stump, and he was like playing for the ball that drifts in. But to be very honest, Rohit Sharma did not look confident to me. Even the pull shots that he played, I know
Yeah.
there was a pull shot that went for a six, but the one before that, and also the pull shot which he swiveled for a single. If you know Rohit
Yeah.
Sharma, he doesn't really hit pull shots for singles. He doesn't
Yeah.
hook for singles. His singles are
Yeah.
tapped around the corner, and singles aren't something he will swivel his body for. So I don't think he was in complete control of the match right there. But all in all, I must say I sort of agree with Nathan in the sense that I felt the approach by England was a little passive in that third session. I felt, to an extent, the English tried very hard to give the initiative away. But once again, coming back to the overall context of the match, as Nathan said, if anyone would have told him it's 391 to get, 381 to get on the last day with England needing 9 wickets, I'm sure you would have snatched your hand away. And I'm pretty sure if we probably play the day 100 times tomorrow, 95 times England will come out on top. It's going to be a massive effort for India to bat out the whole day because I don't see them
Yeah.
getting these runs. I don't think the pitch will support them. I think Brisbane was an entirely different story. I think we saw in Rawalpindi what really happens when you got to chase big scores in the fourth innings. It's
Yeah.
just a matter of those 2 wickets which can fall in a row, and that happened with Markram there. Once Markram and de Kock were
Markram
out,
and
because
Quinton de Kock. Quinton de Kock. Yeah.
once Markram and de Kock were out of consecutive deliveries, that was it. That was curtains for South Africa. But all in all, good days of Test cricket. If you talk about it in terms of all the 4 days, I feel this has been the most competitive day from both the teams. Felt for the other 3 days, more or less England were the dominant team. For the first 2 days, outrightly dominant. For the third day, I'd say it was like a 60-40, or maybe a 65-35 split in favor of England. Today, Washington and Ashwin played well for the first hour. Ashwin getting out to that new ball. You know what? I'm actually slightly happy for the Indians is that they've managed to play 13 overs with this ball. We've seen once this ball crosses the 15th to 17th over mark, it becomes quite insipid. It becomes soft on this pitch. The only thing that can happen is that puff of dust and the odd ball taking up. I am pretty sure there could be 9 deliveries
Yeah.
like that out of Leach or Best or even Archer for that matter. I thought Archer in the first over, the bouncer that he attempted with Rohit, in which his hand came off the bat when he tried to fend it off. And that was a good bouncer. And
Yeah.
all in all, Archer has looked good all throughout this Test match. So a relatively even day, but again, massively disappointed with the fact that India managed to lose Rohit Sharma. Because if there was even a slightest of doubt in the minds of the English team and the English team management, that's absolutely gone now. There are only 2 results possible. Either India bat out of the skins, or we probably see by the end of the second session tomorrow a collapse and a famous England win.
Yeah.
I
I
do
think they've
find
done
it.
that before. Yeah.
I do find it quite
Yeah.
interesting, the topic about Rohit Sharma and his dismissal. Being an Englishman and not seeing very many wickets to spin, it probably looks a lot better in my eyesight. Because obviously we're aware of England pitches, so we don't tend to see wickets like that. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think last time I seen a few wickets I can remember from a genuine spinner was Mo and Ali, and I think that was against India as well in 2018, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So I don't tend to see a lot of wickets.
Yeah. 17, 18.
So my standard of good ball of spin is probably a lot lower than you three.
See,
that Rohit Sharma.
KD, Kushagra or I would want to make is the fact that Rohit just went down the other line. I think he was expecting the ball to not spin. I think Rohit just totally underestimated, because if we, and my perspective is looking at all the domestic cricket that happens in India, that's sort of an average ball. I mean, that's how much the ball turns on the third or fourth day. I mean, we have 4-day games here. So on the third and fourth day, that's how much the ball turns. That you just go on the back foot, you sort of defend it. It's, I mean, I don't know what would be the parallel for English cricketers in this sense. So
Anurag, to add to that
I'd
point,
say for Rohit Sharma.
first of all,
if just to point on that though, if that ball goes straight and doesn't spin, and he plays down the line of the spin, he looks just as bad.
Yeah. So he got into a very, very awful position. Simple.
Nathan, that wasn't the right shot to play for that ball. That ball, when it's pitched right up there, you present the full face of the bat and play it towards mid-off. That's what you do. If the ball really takes a massive spin and takes your edge to the first slip, too bad. But I felt because he was in a defensive mindset, because he wasn't confident, and Rohit Sharma doesn't play like that. If you see him
Yeah,
generally, he doesn't allow spinners to settle. I was
yeah,
really hoping that he would dance down the track, even if it is for a block. But he was, because of the fact that he
yeah,
was playing from the crease. You spoke about
yeah,
Shubman. You don't see Shubman doing that. Frankly, I think if Shubman bats out a session and a half, I think the English would be worried because the way he
yeah,
plays and the comfort and the ease that with which he looks, on the pitch. I think Shubman is
Yeah.
probably the most dangerous batsman for you right now in terms of putting the pressure back on the English team. I don't think these
Yeah.
guys can chase 381 in a day, but I do think the approach towards the batting that Rohit Sharma had, I felt it was a tad too defensive for Rohit Sharma. And a bogged down Rohit Sharma is never a Rohit Sharma you want to watch. That's what my complaint is. I don't think it was
yeah,
an exceptional delivery. It was a
yeah,
good delivery by Jack Leach. I'll just give him that. But
yeah,
I think you expect better of Rohit. I
yeah,
think I think the standards are higher
yeah,
for Rohit, I would say.
yeah. Yeah, and Anurag, ever since I have seen like Rohit Sharma batting from the time in his Ranji Trophy days.
I think Prathamesh is having a little bit of a trouble here. We'll just get him back whenever he's
Yeah.
available. Until then, we'll just take a few comments. After that, I'll just get you guys for the final comments of the day. Amit says Chepauk Stadium saw Sehwag's best, MS Dhoni's best, Karuna's best, KL Rahul's best score, and Ishant's 300th wicket. So yeah, plenty of cherishable moments there. Varun, if KL and Pujara do a Gabba tomorrow in the first session, we have Kohli, Pant, Sundar to maybe take us to win, but only if the only I think the if is a lot bigger in this situation because the Indians were at least a little confident going on the final day at the Gabba because even if you go and look at our fourth day post-match live in the Gabba test, we were a little confident because the pitch was not doing a lot. Uh, but this one, it really has demons, man. Uh, Shivam says the Brisbane test played in the minds of England's team. The reason I guess the batted, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Amit, mad teams make me calculate the required rate in the fourth innings. Yeah, with pitch behaving the way it is, KD, I think you were in the comments back then. It Do you all think we will get those 9 balls which will account for us all? Yeah, I think we definitely. I think we'll get more than 9 balls which are good enough. I think yeah, I think Prathamesh is back. Prathamesh will just
Yeah,
get back to you again once we just complete this comments because there are a lot of them. Uh,
yeah, yeah,
Looks very likely, Kushag. I think he agrees with you there. Bizarre Tactics is Kalyan, who's a part of our CID group, Nathan. England wins or draws. Australia is still in contention for the World T20. Yeah, I think the entire episode, whatever has happened in the last 1 or 2 days, it unnecessarily brought Australia back into the equation. That shouldn't have happened for me. Yeah, fine, whatever. Varun says Shahbaz Nadeem has bowled 9 no balls in this match, the most by an Indian spinner since Amit Mishra against England. Oh, I
I
had to be
don't know
against
how.
England.
I don't get how a spinner
Ah.
bowls so many no balls.
Is it? It's sort of cynical. It's criminal, isn't it?
So,
I don't know.
unless the only thing I could think of is they got used to the third umpire not calling him, that they've got away
Yeah,
with it for so long
in
that
a sense, yeah,
it's
maybe.
the only thing I
But
can think of.
Nathan, they were calling it in Australia, and the Indian spinners in Australia weren't bowling these many no balls. It's just something we've noticed this time because they were calling no balls in Australia. The third umpires, and
Something we just
we
picked it
never
up.
we
yeah,
never saw Ashwin or Jadeja or even Sundar there or whoever was the spinner there. They never bowled no balls. This is just unbelievable. It's
Pathetic.
something like
yeah.
26, 27 no balls in 2 innings. It's just unacceptable.
Yeah, especially from like someone like Shabazz Nadeem, I mean, any spinner for that matter, but Shabazz Nadeem was so experienced, playing. He's played Ranji for a long time, so I don't know why this is happening all of a sudden. I mean, Ashwin
Yeah.
also bowled. It's like hawa lag gayi na. Like you catch the
Prathamesh,
wind.
there was a wicket. I think it was his fifth wicket, which he picked. The
Yeah,
moment he picked up the wicket, he was immediately looking back at the umpire, and he was like hoping, please don't just push the buzzer or something like that. I think that's sort of you know I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, that's a sort of mentality that is there. Like I know. See, one thing that I do understand is Indian spinners are usually they like to use the full crease as much as possible. Because sometimes, yes, those 1 or 2 inches or 1 or 2 yards, it sort of matters. I get that, but I mean, come on, man. But still your run up is not that fast. I understand fast bowlers sometimes they run in quickly. Sometimes it happens that you might not get your foot exactly on on the proper crease. You're not coming in that fast. Come on, it's unacceptable. And
So,
uh,
how,
yeah, Nathan.
I was just going to say, how did Naeem get in over Yadav? I've not followed a lot of Indian cricket that much recently, but
Yeah.
Yadav. Last time I seen Yadav play, apart for in Test cricket anyway, he was playing
Yeah.
really well. So I was quite surprised that he wasn't playing.
I think Nathan,
Nathan,
that's
we've
India's
been we've
biggest
been
question
crying
right
over that.
now.
We have been crying over that for the last 3 days, and in a sense, even we have not been following. I mean, we have been following cricket, Indian cricket for a while, but it doesn't feel like we have been following because it is as inexplicable as it is to you as it is to us. So
Fair
God knows
enough.
what happened there. Yeah, even we are still
Yeah.
searching for a plausible explanation so that we could present it to the world. As it stands, even we don't have it. 20th 5 wicket haul for Ravichandran Ashwin, one of the greats in the game. Yep, definitely. Uh, Amit says Rishabh Pant has scared every opposition against early declaration. You could say so. Warren says most 5 wicket hauls in tests since January 2010. Rangana Hera 30, Ravichandran Ashwin 28, and Jimmy Anderson 23. Elite list again. Amit Dubey says with the way Indian openers are batting, we should just make Pujara the opener now. Yeah, I mean it barely matters now, doesn't it? Amit,
Yeah.
maybe Mayank or KL back in the opening and put Rohit in middle order. Yeah, that is something that people have been telling. Shivam says Gill cannot be dropped. Absolutely not. Uh, put Rohit on bench. Even that maybe is coming. No temperament test.
Yeah.
Amit has some strong words for Rohit there. Ravi Ashwin is the first spinner in 100 years to take a wicket of the first ball of an innings. Bobby Peel. Oh my God, it's been a long time. My word. Bobby Peel and it's Bert Vogler. Oh, these are very very old names. I mean, I'm sort of struggling to even pronounce. So 83 or 67. I think this is with reference to Virender Sehwag
Sehwag's innings.
in
Yeah.
2009. Yeah, Amit Dubey pitch is as bad, but due to Sehwag 83. No, I don't think the pitch was this bad. I definitely don't think the pitch was this bad. I very well remember that day. Rohit is not to be blamed today. Just got a beautiful ball. No, I think KD of all people would very very strongly disagree to that, and so do I. Joe Root has already scored more runs against spin in 2021 than he managed against both seam and spin in the whole of 2020. Yeah, Joe Root has been magnificent, man. I mean, we cannot compliment the guy enough. What a good turnaround. Uh,
I- But
yeah, yes, man.
just onto Root though,
Yeah,
that's the difference of actually having the top order that can bat than bloody Jason Roy opening.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, that's fair enough.
The logic reason for Jason Roy in the Ashes was that he's played enough international cricket, and they didn't want to put someone like Sibley in for the biggest series in cricket, basically. But now, like, we've got Sibley, Burns, Crawley. Dan Lawrence is still making his way, but it's given Root that time out of the game to recoup a little bit. Whereas 2 years ago, being captain, being in for 20 for 2, or even sometimes talking about going up to 3, I prefer him at 4. It just gives him that break, and I think he's just Silverwood's just made it's the reason, and that's why he's reaping the rewards this year. He was quite consistent last year for a guy that didn't hit 100. He averaged 42, and yet he didn't hit one single 100. Sounds like a Joe Root type of year, doesn't it?
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I mean, that's not just there are plenty of things that can run in your mind. I mean, if there is not enough support coming from the other end, it obviously plays in your mind. I think fair enough there, but again, credits to Silverwood and Root there. I think what they've managed to do in the last few months, it's been fantastic, and to get those many runs in such spin dominant countries like Sri Lanka, or I know Sri Lanka don't have the best of spin attacks right now, but I think still to get runs there, it's fantastic.
He's He's certainly have the purple patch. Hope he can carry it on all year long and take it to Australia at the end of the year.
Yeah. Dom Bess is only the 12th England player to score 50 plus and take 4 plus wickets in a test match in India. He's the first to do so since Andrew Flintoff at Mumbai in 2006. Nice, that's good. Dom Bess has left a higher percentage of balls than every other batsman in this innings. England have attacked 31% of the balls they faced in this innings, making it their most attacking innings on Indian soil since records began in 2006. Okay.
I love these
very
stats.
interesting. Yeah, I know. There are a lot of people who actually bring in these amazing stats. And Amit says Shahbaz Nadeem has bowled 9 no balls in this match, the most by an India spinner since. I think we've seen this one. Can't afford to go all defensive tomorrow either. It'll be a tough balancing act. Yes, Kabir. I think Kabir has joined in the comments for the first time. I think. Is this the same Kabir from MTAG?
Yes. That is Kabir. That is Kabir. Welcome,
yeah,
man.
Thank you so much for joining,
Kabir.
Kabir. It's lovely to see you in the comments here. Yeah, I think it was pretty much spot on there. I don't think there is any way we can just keep defending tomorrow. Let's see what happens. New ball, first and all records in this match: 6 wickets at an average of 19. Older ball in this match, 11 wickets at an average of 67. Makes it even more pivotal. I think it's good that we've seen the new ball well.
About. Anurag, that is what I was talking about. The only slight bit of silver lining in this, in this performance that I can see for India is that they've managed to make the ball 13 overs old. If they see out, say, another 10, 12 overs again tomorrow in the first 45, 50 minutes, I think from then till at least when it starts to reverse. I think when it starts to reverse, it might be a bit of an issue. So till from the 25th over till about the 55th, 60th over, I think the ball's going to be pretty normal unless the batsmen play bad shots, they won't get out. So, that could be a bit of respite for the Indians. It's a very cliched thing, but the first hour is crucial tomorrow. And that's how it is, I think, in most test matches.
Yeah.
I would agree. I think if we don't get any wickets in the first hour, you've got every chance of drawing.
Yeah.
I saw a start. One of your lot that probably can clear it up for me a little bit better because I can't remember exactly. But it's actually up to like the 30th over that actually most wickets fell. I know we're mentioning the 15th, but according to the TV we've got, it's up to around the 30th. So when we think the first hour, we're probably talking, over 25, over 27 roughly. So actually, like we're saying, if my stat's correct, onwards, if we haven't got Kohli or Rahane in by the first hour, then you've got all the chances. And if you do draw tomorrow, take out World Championship, because that's got a lot of steps for us even to think about. I don't think we have a chance of winning the series if we don't win tomorrow. I think it will really set the series up.
And also with the reverse swing, now that the split is not allowed, and you
reverse swing, yes, good point.
You have to work with the sweat. So now that reverse swinging factor, like imagine someone like James Anderson with a normal reverse swinging technique, right? He could use everything that he has in his arm.
No. I think Prathamesh, if you look what happened today, Jasprit Bumrah was reverse swinging the ball very well. I mean, he was getting the ball to nip back with the shine.
There is still a little, change here and there. I don't think it's a major difference, but I think even then, I think Indians will won't be comfortable when it comes to reverse swing, but there will be that slight little bit of hesitancy in terms of how we bat. So as Kushagra rightly said, I think those 40 overs in between that reverse swinging period to probably an hour, tomorrow, I think that will define a lot in the game. Agar wahan pe, if we start throwing wickets away, then it is going to be extremely difficult. But also the reverse swing, I think, if we have Pujara batting at that point of time, if we have someone like Kohli batting at that point of time, these are two players who have got strong wrists. They can work pretty well with that. So I think that might actually help India, even if the ball is reverse swinging. I think if they do not set a leg side field and don't bowl the lines that we bowl, having strong players with strong wrists might actually help us play the reverse swing. We all know what James Anderson did in Nagpur in 2012. So not going beyond his ability to do that again. So that's the only thing that is really worrying me. I mean, that period, that reverse swing period, I think the second new ball usually goes for a lot of runs.
Yeah, everything I could think of was what to listen to if we get such kind of assistance.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a few more comments, guys. I think then we'll just come to the final comments of the day. Any comments on which roller India should use tomorrow? Heavy roller would further deepen the cracks, yes, and advantage England. And I just use a little home advantage, man. Don't use a heavy ruler. I think that's your answer for you. But you never know. Uh, Kavan says Indian stars don't play domestic, so they just so the players who just come in team played well, played well. Spin,
Also for
forget whatever.
Nathan, a comment for
Yeah,
Nathan. Actually, I mean, it's not really a question, Nathan. Nathan, honestly, I feel few of the, and this is a big statement for me to make. A few of the English youngsters are better players of spin than a lot of established Indian batsmen, because I feel Indian batsmen have taken it for granted now that we can play spin, and therefore they do not play our domestic
yeah,
cricket, which is the Ranji Trophy. On the contrary, you've got these young English batsmen going up to Abu Dhabi, going on the Lions tours to Sri Lanka, Pakistan. Pakistan maybe nearby in the future, but Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, India, all these young England Lions players keep traveling all around the subcontinent and even on turning pitches in the West Indies as well. And therefore, I feel like they are able to, how do I say, they're able to effectively learn how to play against spin. Whereas this Indian top order, they really need to earn their bread tomorrow. And I don't think they're that good players of spin as we used to think earlier Indian batsmen used to be. We've all grown up being spoiled by the likes of VVS Lakshman, Rahul Dravid, Sachin Tendulkar, Saurav Ganguly not letting spinners settle, just hitting them out of the ground for sixes. And for that matter, Yuvraj, Sehwag, I can keep the list goes on, Gambhir. These all were fantastic players of spin. Now, I feel all of these guys are tentative against spin. You saw the way Kohli got out in the first innings. He never looked settled. He always looked underconfident and
Rahane
bogged
has a
down.
horrible record against spin, man.
Rahane
Your
has a
premium
horrible
player.
record overall. Since 2018, he averages shade under 25. So, Rahane's
Yeah,
position is under threat. I know he's won all the plaudits for the fantastic captaincy. Again, let's be honest. There is a reason why people were rating India to go down 4-0 in Australia, because we are papering over the cracks a little bit. And those cracks have
hmm.
been laid bare by this fantastic English team. If, as
Yeah.
Nathan said, if the Indians don't manage to draw this one out, it will set up the series quite dangerously for the Indians. I feel, rather than nicely. I think it will set them up to be, from being overconfident, this team can actually go to being underconfident, and then I don't know how it will work out in these conditions.
Yeah, and if you look at
Yeah.
Rahane's record against spin, right, in the recent past, I think it's been highlighted a lot that he has genuinely struggled against spin in India. Coming to Rohit's technique before he was actually playing Ranji Trophy, he used to step out to the bowlers and hit them over long on, even during the Ranji Trophy games. He used to do that when he came into the Indian setup, and now he started to play tentatively because he isn't getting that much spin practice, right? He isn't spending time consistently playing against spinners. The Indians, when they go abroad, they usually do not play a lot of spin. So you're not going to get that practice playing for India anymore. Whenever you have those time off, to be honest, the Indian calendar is also such that we don't see a lot of players being interested to play Ranji cricket because the whole year they're playing a lot of cricket. So it's something that is definitely worrisome for Indian fans. The way Indians are tackling spin, and I'm pretty sure I agree with Kushagar Nathan, because the way Dom Sibley played spin in the first test in Sri Lanka, with an angled bat, and then
Or
how
even in the
he
first test,
changed, yeah, and
first innings. Yeah.
the way he has just slightly changed his technique and he's looked so assured. Joe Root is looking like the best batsman of spin in the entire series. Ben Stokes handles spin pretty well as well. So I think England look absolutely top notch in the way they've countered spin with aggression. They have shown application against spin bowling, and their defense has looked rock solid. So I mean, I know Ashwin has picked up 6 wickets today, but I think overall they've looked good against spin.
Well, the thing is, though, you've got 3 spinners, and they're your 4th and 5th. 2 of them are your 4th and 5th bowlers.
Yeah.
Your 4th and 5th bowler, like if you look at England's team when we're at home, seamers. Ben Stokes our 4th seamer.
Yeah.
He's more of an impact type of bowler. He will. Well, I'm back.
I think we
He's
have.
more of an impact
Yeah.
bowler, but if you look at like Sudar and Nazim, is it? They don't look
Nadeem.
threatening.
Yeah.
If you look at the difference between how we play Ashwin and the other two. We're a lot more aggressive against the other two because we've seen off Ashwin. If you had Cody or Jadeja, I don't think we'd look as half as assured. I just think it's a drop in class. And it's going back to the comment you said about England being better players to spin. Better spin players are Stokes, Root. They're our core of the team that's played for years. Well, it feels like they've been playing for years. Whereas if you look at someone like Sibley, he looked at sea first game. It looked like if I bowled a bit of spin, I could get him out. I think the problem for England's batsmen is when you come into the team, we play on some, like you play ranked turners, we play on some ranked seam pitches. Like 150 is quite a good score on some of the county championship pitches because they're just so seam friendly. There's a spinner called Matt Parkinson for Lancashire. He's a leggy. He's not getting a chance. So he's waiting behind Adil because Adil's one of our best ever bowlers for one days. But he's not getting any chances to improve his county game. So I don't really think we are better. It might feel like it for you guys because you've set a much higher standard than we have, like I was saying earlier. But until we start playing, we actually punish the team for having a spinners friendly pitch. Until we get used to playing more spin pitches, Crawley, your Sibleys, they're all learning on the job. It's quite remarkable the difference in Sibley, but we just don't get enough practice. So we're probably not better. It's just we've just got a lower expectation.
Yeah.
Also, Nathan, the best available spinners to Virat Kohli aren't playing the Test match. That is as blunt a statement as I can make. If the team selection was incredibly poor, incredibly defensive, I know Washington Sundar justified his selection, but once again, the statement I made on day one, it holds true. You make that such a negative selection. That's like, that's like you're already accepting that you're going to have a collapse of the top order. The middle order is going to struggle, and then the low middle order is going to come back and provide some much needed stability. That's exactly what you've gone for. That's exactly how your innings panned out, and you can run from pillar to post saying he scored an unbeaten 85. The point remains: why was he needed to score an unbeaten 85? That's it.
I've not seen a lot of him myself, but especially into Test Arena. Could he make it as a top 6 batsman? Could he do the Stokes role? And then you pick your 4 best players. So you pick, for me, it's Yadav. Obviously, Shami's injured, isn't he?
Yeah.
Sharma, Bumrah.
Yeah.
So you've got your 9-10 Jack. All right, they can't bat for toffees. But if you've got someone like a Stokes, you don't really need a Stokes type player for yourselves. You don't really need 9-10 Jack to bat.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think here I'd put Ashwin at 8.
I think that's why we're looking at Hardik. I feel we're looking at Hardik who can do somewhat like the Stokes role. Maybe Washington in India. Maybe Washington in India might be a possibility. But then again,
I fancied him.
Yes, Nathan.
But the only thing is, how do you fit him in around Pant? So, like Pandya, I'm just thinking he's more of a game changer. I don't think he's got. I won't back his defence in a million years. But if you're 100 for 5, a quick 5, 60, 70 with Pant at the other end, you only need to bat a session and the game flips. If you've got that base at the top, though, you can do that.
Yeah.
He can play. Almost Pandya is more of a Josh Butler type player. Apart from me, bowls and says as wicketkeeper.
Yeah. Makes more sense. So, just a few more comments and I think we'll be done. Ishant Sharma becomes the 3rd Indian pacer after Kapil Dev and Zahir to reach 300 wickets. Yes, I think he had a very slow start to his career, but it's in the last 4 or 5 years, what Ishant Sharma has been doing has been quite commendable. Virat to Anderson, come on, show us a long sex, Jimmy. Virat Savage, yes, it happened when he came out to bat, but obviously Anderson didn't last long. Anderson becomes the first bowler to reach 111 test wickets against India. He dismisses Ishant at 11 balls in his 11th test match in India. Okay, interesting. Ask Nathan who is better, Anderson or Steyn. Oh, God.
It's an easy choice. It's got to be Anderson.
Yeah.
I don't know where the comparison is. Oh, actually, let me correct it. Let me correct that.
Yeah.
Anderson after 30.
Yeah. Kalyan was actually asking me if he could join. I actually was not checking my WhatsApp. He actually asked if he could join. I did send him the link, so if he can join, it'll be great. Let's see if he does. He hasn't checked the message yet.
And just to counter on that one, James Anderson entered the innings with an average of 22.5. Not bad for Clouderson.
Yeah, totally not bad. Yeah, Shiv Dhawan says, let's send Anurag to open. No, bro, he'll get the same number of runs as our openers have been getting. Okay, I'll take that. Thank you.
Probably
Masoom
get
says,
hit as much as get hit as much as Pujara as well. Like get hit on the
no,
ball.
I'll take one hit. I'll be back in the hospital. I'm sorry,
Anurag,
I can't take those many hits.
Anurag,
Yeah.
it's about just imagine facing up to Jofra Archer. Oh my God, I think you not just you. I think any of us would need an extra pair of underwear to do that. Really.
Hit wicket.
I'm sorry, I'm not. I have zero interest in going out to bat there. As if they're calling me. Come on, chill, guys. India in the first innings of the last two home tests versus Bangladesh at Kolkata scored 347 runs with a 241 lead. Versus England at Chennai scored 337 runs with a 241 run deficit. Yeah, I think the tables have turned. Yeah. Spin bowlers to take a wicket on the first ball of a test innings. Bobby Peel to Alec Bannerman. Yeah, oh my God, 1888. Alec Bannerman, I think he was the first person to get 100 in test cricket. It's that old stat. So Albert Wagler to Tom Hayward, 1907, and now Ashwin to Rory Burns. Interesting. The last hour felt like England are batting to save the test. Yeah, I think that's what Nathan and all of us have been stressing on.
Also, India were bowling to save a test.
Yeah, God knows. Yeah, India under Virat Kohli chasing 150 plus in fourth innings, 12 innings totally, 9 defeats, 2 draws, and 0 test won. I think I'm just struggling to make out how this comment is actually put out. 89.5 overs versus Australia, Sydney, 2014.
15 and 52.3 overs versus England and Rajkot 16-17.
Okay, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry, Amit. Just a little bit of confusion there. Yeah.
I'm fairly certain in 2016-17 I could have batted 150 overs against England. And I'm worse than Bumrah.
Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, Sundar's dad would be disappointed once again with his sons, as he could have scored another century. Yeah, this Sundar's dad is such an Indian dad. I mean, he came out and said he was not totally satisfied with his performance at the Gabba. I mean, if you're not satisfied with that, what is the standard you set for the kid? Come on,
this
man.
time he will be disappointed on Bumrah. Like, do ball nahi khel paya.
Yeah, I understand that. Ishan Sharma, if we get a good start, Ishan Sharma said this in the press conference. If we get a good start tomorrow, we can chase this down. Okay, let's see. We have a batting lineup that is fearless and can chase this down. It's important to look at 381 runs and not 9 wickets. Positive?
Yeah, realistically, if you're going to chase down 381, how the hell are you going to do it?
We're going to see that unraveling quite badly tomorrow, yeah.
It means you have to bat it just over close to 4.5 and over for 90 overs.
Yeah.
Honestly, even I don't see that happening. Yeah.
Nathan, absolutely no way do I see these guys chasing 381. No. I don't think that's going to happen. You know what's going to happen is India going to be around 200, 250 for 5, 6, maybe entering the last hour of the second session. That's
the greatest possible scenario.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's the best possible scenario you could think of.
Yeah, at best, what I'm saying. Otherwise, if a collapse happens, if you lose a wicket in the first 5, 7 overs, then God save this team, because it's not gonna it's gonna be a massive struggle. Let's not forget your captain and your vice captain are not in good form. They're gonna be tentative at the start, and a lot is gonna depend on what this pair does. The two on the pitch, or the two on the crease, are the two most settled in looking Indian batsmen right now, which we are playing the test match. I felt Shubman was fantastic for the little while he was there, played a casual shot, and Pujara frankly did not really get out at all. That is just so unlucky. That's like one of the most unluckiest dismissals I've ever seen. You smash a full shot and it smashes into the back of the short leg fielder and just lobs up to Rory Burns. It was a bad way to get out for him. So I had
Oliver was
confidence in
smiling for 5 minutes almost after that.
yeah,
Like they were
yeah,
consistently
yeah,
showing him, and he was
Why
smiling.
wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Yeah.
I'd
yeah.
like
Yeah,
us
And
to make it.
there's a final few comments. Yeah, Nathan.
I like us to be a lot more attacking with the field tomorrow. I like a
Yeah.
short leg slip, a for Pajara especially, a leg slip.
Yeah.
I like we've got three. I mean, if he starts going 4 and over for the first session, then fair enough. But
Yeah.
with 381 runs, we should be putting slips,
Yeah.
leg slips, silly points. We need to be full on
Yeah.
attacking. Like
Yeah, I think you definitely have the leeway there. Yeah.
we got 4 or 5 men around the bat. For me, you can have the odd player out on the boundary for the absolute filth that comes out now and again from like Leach and Bez. But we should be going for the attacking line and going for the wickets.
Yeah.
Siddharth says Chennai needs Delhi NCR weather tomorrow. Rain only when monsoon isn't on.
Yeah, man.
I
Horrible.
don't think Chennai is going to provide any of that. There's going to be incredible amount of sunlight. It's only going to make pitch drier and drier and drier. Let's see.
Sorry, just quick on. When I went to Sri Lanka for the goal, it was monsoon season. It only rained through the night. Is that quite normal in India, or would it rain through the day as well?
Yes, in some parts of the world it is. In some parts it is. I mean, obviously we don't have rain for like 360 out of 365 days, like it happens in England sometimes. It doesn't happen that bad. But especially in the parts that we are discussing, Chennai, Sri Lanka, the southern part of India, I think these are places where you don't get excessive amount of rain. It's just about decent. But when February, March, these are times when it's extremely hot, and I would suggest any person from Europe to never go there during this time. Yeah, it's intolerable in a sense. Yeah.
I say the same
Varun
about coming here.
Yeah.
It's currently 2 degrees.
My goodness. Even that's for me. I think that's avoidable. Yeah. Varun says first time Rohit has been bowled out by a spinner in Test since Herat castled him in August 2015. Since then, he has faced 198.3 overs of spin without having his timber tinkled, average 67. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Sunny made a great analysis once saying that Indian players were good against spin as they used to pick up the balls by watching the ball coming out of hands of the spinner. I don't know if what is the
Anurag,
problem.
this is where your role when you go to non-strikers and becomes immensely crucial, right? Because when you go there, you can actually watch the ball being released out of the spinner's hands, what he's doing differently during the over. Then you can actually tell this to your partner as well, and then apply for it yourself. So I've except for Virat Kohli, I've not seen a lot of batsmen
anyone trying to do that. Yeah.
Hand. Nobody actually does that, so I don't know. I mean, Sunil Gavaskar is just an immense batting legend, and he knows what he's talking about because it's extremely important to do that.
Yeah. Varun says Sundar was a perfect replacement of Jadeja, the batsman, not the bowler. Yeah, Varun, as a big fan of Jadeja, I must say there is no replacement for Jadeja in this team. There is not one. I'm not sure if Akshar could have done what Sundar did. Fair enough. I get that. I think with the bat, yes. Simple thing was to play Kuldeep instead of Nadeem. Yeah. Again, we can keep having that debate for the rest of the day. We've had that for three days. It's continued for the 4th day. I'm sure it'll continue for a while. Kuldeep himself said he has been practicing a lot as he wants to contribute in the lower order. Bizarre selection hashtag.
Yeah.
Joe Root has already scored more runs against spin in 2021 than he managed. Yeah, I think we've had this.
Yeah.
Suvajit, hey Suvajit. Guys, remember, punt doesn't like bald spinners. Let's hope so. I think the way he hammered Jack Leach, I think just hopefully he can get a few more of that tomorrow.
Just thing I think Leach needs to do is just pull it a little bit wider than he did yesterday, and I think he'll get him.
I think. Got him. Yeah, exactly. I think that's what even Nathan Lyon was trying to do throughout the series, and even he had his success a couple of times. But I think Jack Leach didn't get his line precisely. I think that's where he got hammered for those many runs. He was bowling it a little too much on the straighter side.
It also doesn't help when the ball comes into Rishabh Pant, right? With Nathan Lyon, the ball is going outside, like going away from
Yeah,
Rishabh
that's
Pant. So
what that's
he
what
was
helped
able
Dom
to
Bess
get
as
his
well.
wicket. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what helped Dom Bess as well.
I,
Anirudh
I,
says, "What's your call, Anurag? Tomorrow's prediction." I must admit, I'm not really expecting great things tomorrow. I was more confident about the Gabba final day because of the pitch. I think my
Yeah.
major, the point of assessment for me, the focal point here, it's the pitch more than
Yeah.
anything else. So let's see what happens. English spent 200 years in India. India have completed 73 years. Whose home conditions are these? Okay, okay. Let's not get there now. No, let's just not get there. Last
I didn't
20
see any.
overs,
I didn't see any
yeah,
swing.
yeah, precisely. Yeah, the last 20 overs, 110 to win. India clinched by 2 wickets. Suvajit is incredibly positive as he always is,
Yeah.
but I think even by your standards, Suvajit, I think that's a little too much of a
Yeah.
stretch, I must
Expectation.
admit.
Yeah.
Let's hope it does something like that happens. I mean, obviously, you and I would be incredibly happy if that happens, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
Uh, Rishabh Pant wins the ICC Player of the Month. Fantastic. I think, in a sense, as an Indian fan, I was really happy because those two knocks that he played in January, this uh,
Yeah.
this January, those are two of the very best we've seen in Indian cricket in a very, very long time. So I think kudos to him and Shabnam Ismail, the South African spinner, were fantastic to her. Kudos to her as well. Uh, thank God, nowhere near. I'm nowhere near Pant. Otherwise, he would have smashed me. Yeah, absolutely. India will lose this one and treat it as a three-match series now. Okay, that's it for the comments. Nathan, we'll start with you. Just the final comments. I know we've kept you for a longer period of time than I asked you for it. Uh, uh, how do you think just the entire day is going to pan out tomorrow?
Well, I'm not used to us doing very well in the first game of a series. I'm not
Yeah.
used to us doing very well in Asia, to be honest. But I think if we can get an early breakthrough, I
Yeah,
don't see why we can't win. But if we don't
yeah,
get a breakthrough in the first hour or an hour and a half, I think you've got every chance to survive. We're not used to winning in Asia, so I'm just hoping we don't panic a bit. So hopefully, I'm feeling positive, but I'm also a bit more realistic and know that England haven't got the best record in Asia.
yeah. I don't think any of us is trying to be falsely modest and just say it because you're here. But I think this is totally England's game to lose. I really don't. I mean, this is something they should be getting because there are plenty of things that I know I get your point, but I think there are plenty of things that could work in their way as well. Ideally, which should be. Yeah, neither.
Oh, last thing. In football, there's something called a manager of the month, and it usually a jinx.
Yes.
So I'm hoping the player of the month award for Pant jinxes him and he gets a golden duck.
Yes, I think we get that. I hope it doesn't. Katie, your final comments. This is the same question. Yeah.
This team has given us hope with its performance in Australia. But as you yourself said, the conditions are different. I don't know. I won't say that I was more confident at the Gabba. I was even less confident at the Gabba because I did not see that last day happening. Did not
Yeah.
see these guys battling the way they did. Did not foresee another Rishabh Pant masterclass right after it had happened in Sydney back then. We're talking about that. I don't think the Indians can chase this down. As Nathan said, it's just too much. It's just too many runs in too little time. You have 90 overs left. You got to get 381 runs, as Nathan said, that's roughly 4.5 runs and over for the entire day. I don't think that can happen. Subhajit has talked about 110 runs for the last 20 overs. That's if we reach that situation, I don't think India will go for the target, man. I think they will want to draw the series. Let's not forget that the World Test Championship isn't over. Indian team does hold designs to go to the final and play that final at Lords, and all of those things considered, best situation for India is, as Nathan is saying, don't lose a wicket for the first hour and a half, because if you play out the first hour, I trust these two batsmen to play out the second hour as well. And if India go in at lunch just one down or at best two down, I think the English will start to worry, because the second session, unless the batsmen are wanting to accelerate, we've not seen that many wickets go down in the second session. It's the first session and the third session that have been troublesome mostly for the batsmen. So uh, if India can ride it out in the first session, not play expansive shots, or rather not play careless shots, because you wouldn't want Shubman Gill to curb his natural game. And let's be honest, Cheteshwar Pujara out of India, away from India, and Cheteshwar Pujara in India are two entirely different batsmen. In India, his strike rate is above 50 for the past 3 years, and I don't think he's that player who will just block things out right at the death. I think he will want to keep the scoreboard ticking. I don't think either of that will be enough for India to actually threaten England with the reversal. But as long as they're able to fend off and keep playing as many balls as possible, I think they should be fine. Hopefully, but
Yeah.
again,
Hey,
I'll
Kalyan.
still
Yeah.
I'll still give it an 80-20 in England's favor. The 20 being the draw right now.
Yeah, Kalyan joins us like right at the death. I'm sorry, Kalyan. I wasn't checking the WhatsApp. So there were plenty of amazing
Lads,
comments that you were
I have to
putting. We were
push.
reading
I
it
have to
here.
push. I'll push.
Yes, yes,
And
no problem.
massive kudos to Nathan and Kalyan for joining us here, man. Nathan, if we can have you again, hopefully maybe tomorrow. I mean, a joyous Nathan, celebrating a first victory in India in 7-8 years. We'd love to have that. And thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, no worries, mate. As long as I haven't got a call or anything tomorrow, I work from home because of the pandemic. And
Everyone is, yeah.
I don't have anything in my diary for 12 to 1. As long as I don't get a call or anything, I should be able to join. And I'll have my
Yeah,
England
perfect.
top if we
That'd be
win.
great.
Hope to see you.
Yeah.
See you guys. Kalyan, Pratmesh,
See you later,
Anurag,
mate.
thank you guys for having me.
Yeah. Yeah, Kalyan, we were just about taking the final few comments of the day. I'll come straight to you. I think it's been a very shaky sort of a day for India, and to a certain extent for England as well. They were, yeah, as you know, in the group, Nathan was absolutely venting it out. What is happening? So, your final comments. I mean, as to your first and final comments as to what might happen tomorrow.
Well, I would say it's going to be a draw, but being an optimistic kind of magic that we can do, I know that
Yeah.
we can pull this off. If I have to be at my optimistic best, I'll say England would lose. So so just ended with some trash talk with Nathan.
Yeah.
Nathan, it's going to be yet another heartbreaking loss for you in India. So actually, he was supposed to come to India, weren't you?
Okay.
So he was
We're
supposed
used to losing in India. It's going to be no different for us. We don't feel the heartache any longer.
Yeah.
Good.
So Nathan, so what do you prefer, crying in front of a TV or crying in the stadium? So what would you have
Yeah.
preferred?
You're a bit chirpy for someone that's on the verge of losing.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm just staying silently. I'm just gonna watch this happen. I just fold my hands, watch this happen. I'm not gonna say anything right now.
Yeah. So he
Yeah.
always says trash stuff like Anderson is better than Stain, isn't it?
Yeah.
I asked the question in the group. Did he answer that? I didn't catch up
Yeah,
with that.
he did. He did.
He did answer. He said Anderson any day long.
Yeah, answer after 30, to be honest.
Yeah.
Did he ever get a
Yeah.
5-wicket haul in India? Anderson?
So
Did,
what was
did he,
that?
did
I
he
don't
get
know.
a
I'm sorry.
Did he
Well,
get a 5?
Oh no, but he averaged 22.5. Not bad for Clouderson.
Yeah. Clouderson, yes.
We won't
Yeah.
look at the fact it was Sharma and Bumrah. We're just looking at it was 22.5. Someone has to clear this tail up.
Yeah.
It's a job I could take up against Bumrah and Sharma.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't even have a comeback to that. I mean, yeah, Prathamesh, your final say before we wrap it up.
Tough day, and I'm not going to be as optimistic as Kalyan. I like the banter, Kalyan, though. I mean, interesting one. It's difficult to see anything other than an England win or an Indian draw. I mean, Indian or England draw. But Indian team always has this ability of pulling something out of nowhere. Chennai is one of those interesting places where things have always happened in some way magical or the other. So there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong in being optimistic, nothing wrong in being hopeful. Although, as we have talked about for the last 1 hour, the first hour is incredibly crucial. The reverse swing period is
Yeah.
incredibly crucial. The second new ball is incredibly crucial. I feel, at the end of the day, Cheteshwar Pujara and Ashwin are going to carry the bat. The match is going to be saved. India would probably be 70, 80 runs short, but the match could be saved. And Pujara will be somewhere around 125, 130. And, that could be the result possibly. But if Pant fires, that could easily be closer. And also, Nathan, talking about manager of the month, David Moyes for that.
An ex-North End manager, him.
Yeah. I'm not very sure which club Nathan supports, but I'm sure we'll have him on a football thing if possible as
Yeah,
well. But I think he prefers
yeah,
cricket. So yeah, whatever happens, guys, I think it's beautifully poised right now. I don't know if that is the right thing to say, but again, yeah, I'll just for the sake of being diplomatic, I'd just say it's beautifully poised. Let's hope. From an Indian perspective, I think if it's a draw, if we are able to manage a draw out of this, I'd be incredibly happy.
yeah,
Win, I think I'm trying to be as optimistic as I possibly can be, but I think the way the pitch is playing out, I think it's going to be
yeah,
a very, very difficult. Uh, there are a few more comments. I'll just take those and we'll be done with this. If Pant is around, India will go after the target in reference to Sujit's numbers. Yes, I think the Sujit was referring if India need 110 runs in the last 20 overs, then that could happen. Let's see. This test series started a bit too early, man. Wanted to enjoy the victory at Gaba a bit more. Yeah, I think now that
yeah.
the things have not gone in our way, I think that's a good thing to say.
Yeah, but although
Yeah.
Anurag 270 runs in 2 sessions, even if we have to go by Shivajit's numbers, 270 runs is 2 sessions and
That's a lot. That's a
200
lot.
overs. Two
That's
and
a
a half
lot.
sessions to be honest. So that's a lot of
Yeah. Yeah.
lot of runs to get.
On not being biased like above, Pujara's wicket will be the most important wicket for England and even for India to draw. He is the Kohinoor both India and England want tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, I think to a decent extent I do agree to that. Indians under Virat definitely won't go for a draw. It's either an England win or an Indian win. I think this is actually a very fair comment because we have
Yeah.
seen this happen. We've seen this happen in Adelaide back in 2014. That is totally possible. So on
Yeah.
that note, thank you so much, Nathan. Thank you so much, Kalyan, for joining, and thank you so much, Prathamesh, as always. I think we've just lost Nathan's connection here. Just in case, anyways, thank you so much to him for joining for the very first time. It was a lovely session. Kalyan, hopefully we can have you a little early tomorrow, uh, because I think the banter is going to be a little slightly more different. I hope it
Yeah.
is very very well in our favor, but I am not really expecting that.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, guys, for joining. Please do keep it locked to the Sports Join. We're going to be covering it. We're going to be doing it live at 10 p.m. as well. Please do join in if you can. So thank you so much for watching. If you have been watching all this long, and Nathan has just come up again, I think. Hey Nathan, yeah, we're just saying a
He's
final
already
bye. Thank
hiding.
you.
You're already hiding.
Yeah, I don't know what happened then. My internet just dropped.
Yeah, that's fine. I think we're just about finishing it. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, that's
Thank you,
what I
Nathan.
said.
Thank you so much for coming.
Cheers, mate. I'll see you tomorrow when we're 1-0 up.
Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully that's not the case. Thank you so much for joining, guys, and we'll see you soon.